Hello everyone and welcome to Bad Defaults Plays AI Dungeon 2. So what it is, it's a text adventure game, but it's generated entirely by AI, and you can write anything and it'll do its best to try to respond. It's not always coherent.
Artificial intelligence is not yet perfect.
No, did you know that?
I wonder if AI is aware that it's not perfect yet, you know? Does it have, like, poor self-worth?
I was going to say, are you asking if it feels bad about itself?
Or is it not there yet? Has it not developed poor self-worth?
I don't know if it...
That's advanced.
It has the kind of emotional capacity to feel bad about itself, let alone the self-awareness required.
Is there a self to be aware of?
Hold on, let me just try something.
Fuck you. Please enter a valid selection.
So it seems
start
to,
7. Your custom.
It doesn't seem to feel bad about itself.
Make your custom setting. Fuck you.
Oh, custom setting? Enter a prompt that describes who you are and the first couple sentences of where you start out. Example, you are a knight in the kingdom of Larian.
Nah, just write fuck you.
Generating story. This I don't think we'll stick with this one for the video, but we'll see what happens.
Unless it's gold.
Fuck you. You are a bit surprised by this. But you don't really have much of an argument with her about it. She is just being rude, and you aren't going to argue with someone who doesn't even know what the hell she's talking about. Wow. Okay.
All right.
What will we do about that?
The Russians are about to invade Chicago.
Okay.
I don't. Or no, because you have to enter the exclamation mark, right?
Oh, right.
Because there are syntax rules.
That makes the text box. So yeah, there's rules to this where if I don't put the exclamation point, it automatically puts the word "you" in front of any command I type in. By putting the exclamation point, it won't put the word "you." So I'll just put the Russians are about to take over Chicago. Which was the circumstance in the... Before we did the video, we did a test run to make sure that it was going to record okay. And the AI the AI started out in our spy scenario that the Russians are about to take over Chicago.
So I wonder if the AI is going to bring back whoever she was of the fuck you scenario.
So, okay.
Until then.
This is something that needs to be done now, if only for your own safety. You need to get out of here before they do. You run as fast as you can down the street into a nearby alleyway where you hide behind some trash cans until the Russian soldiers arrive. Okay, so the Russians are in Chicago after she just told us, fuck you, and now apparently she's gone. What next?
Do we have a time frame? Like what technology is available to us? Are we in the
pretty much 1800s? Anything we want since our prompt was fuck you.
Quickly establish a espionage control center, something like that.
Establish a headquarters. Resistance headquarters. The Russian soldiers are marching through the streets and buildings in a very organized fashion. They seem to be following orders rather than their own instincts. You think it would be best if you could establish a base of operations somewhere in the city so you can coordinate your actions better. So this is basically how AI Dungeon works, and we're not going to continue this run, I think.
It's already muddled.
Well, our prompt was fuck you. There's not much it can work with.
Should we go... I feel like apocalyptic could be fun. Mystery might be slow. I feel like we are ill-equipped to handle a custom scenario.
As we've just shown.
Given our propensity towards idiocy. I feel like apocalyptic might be fun.
Okay.
Unless you have other thoughts.
Cool. Well, I already put it in. Let's be a survivor. What's our character's name?
Gandalf the Beige.
Okay, we're running with it. You are Gandalf the Beige, a survivor trying to survive in a post-apocalyptic world by scavenging among the ruins of what is left. You have a hatchet and a hunting rifle. You live in a small community of survivors who have managed to build a piece of civilization after the bombs fell. You are talking to one of the leaders of the community when you hear a noise from outside. It sounds like it could be an attack, but then again, it might just be some raiders or bandits that got themselves killed during the chaos. I'm sorry. Raiders and bandits who are dead are making the noise?
They're undead.
Oh, the leader looks at you and
Gandalf the
says,
Beige is much more Davy Crockett than I remember Gandalf ever being.
the leader looks at you and says, leader, we need to prepare for an attack.
Does the leader say leader?
I'm
just to establish his authority before speaking. We need to prepare for an attack. We'll leave that ambiguous.
okay. Yeah. What do we say?
Can you ask the leader? See, like I'm still not clear on the rules of this.
So I can
game.
write.
Can we?
You. So it always starts with you, right? You ask.
Ask leader. How many soldiers do we have?
How many soldiers do we have? Well, well, okay. I was gonna say like we are a community of survivors. We might not have any soldiers at all.
Well, we're gonna find out.
I don't know. About 30 people. They all have their own weapons, and they can help each other if needed. You say. Why would I say leader colon? Oh, I say nothing. You say colon, and then there's nothing there. I say blank. Leader says,
Gandalf
oh, really?
The Beige is a man of few words.
Well, let me get my men together, and we'll go out there.
Okay.
You know how in some video games where if you it can time out and you just say ...
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what we just did.
I think that's what happened.
Okay. You agree with him, and he goes off to gather his men. You quickly get your men together and head towards the sound of the attack. When you arrive, you see several dead bodies lying on the ground, but also a few survivors running away from the carnage.
Ask the survivors, what is the size of the enemy force? We need to know if we can fight them head on or if we need to engage in guerrilla warfare.
Yell to survivors, what is the size of the enemy force? You shout to the survivors. Survivor 1, there are more than 10 of them. You reply. Oh, and then it does say below that you. Yeah, I heard that too. The leader said there were even more of those things coming our way. Those things. So this is a non-human attack that left humanity crippled.
Unless we've advanced so far in the conflict where we have already successfully dehumanized the enemy. We don't know yet.
How about you scan for enemy forces? Something like that? Like, let's look out for the enemy?
Yeah.
You look around and see nothing of interest, so you decide to search for enemies yourself. You start scanning the area for any signs of enemy forces. After a while, you find no sign of anything, but then another group comes into view and you realize that this must be the main force. The main enemy force? Must be.
Group. Assess the size, because if you can see them yourselves, you can know how many more than 10 of them there are.
Assess the size of the main force. Why am I saying me? So, what is the size of the main force? A, about 20 people. You, how big are they? B, they're not as big as you, though. They're about average height and weight.
Check your, can you do, is this Dungeons and Dragons? Can you do like what happens if you type roll for initiative?
Oh God, are you serious?
Possibly. I'm just gonna say things and it's your, call.
Okay.
Whether or not you listen to me.
I've played this game before and it's always given the characters' names, but for some reason this time it's writing things out like a script. And putting Survivor 1. I've got a whole bunch of unnamed characters. There's people named A and B. I don't know why it's doing this. I'm going to roll for initiative. You rolling initiative. You. Okay, I'm going first.
It knows what to do.
I guess I got a good roll. You raise your weapon and fire. A bolt flies straight through the chest of a large man in armor. He falls backwards and you feel a pace corn through your body as you die. You died, game over. Huh?
Was he a voodoo doll or something of you? Like, was he transferring his damage to you? He had already cast a spell on you
apparently,
of advanced quality.
I was in some way magically linked to this guy that I shot, and I died when I killed him.
All right, everybody,
and
this
that's
has been
AI
Bad
Dungeon
Defaults.
2, everybody. Let's play another one. Okay, let's do a mystery.
Cool.
Are we a patient, a detective, or a spy?
Spy.
Spy.
For maximum intrigue.
We are called... what's a good spy name?
Let me think for a second.
Bond, James Bond. Like his first name is Bond, his middle name is James, and his last name is Bond.
Ooh, that could be good. I'm on a name generator here.
Okay.
And I have Harry Doom.
Harry Doom.
Faust Voldemort. I have just straight up
I kind
Draco.
of hope that the form of Harry is actually like as in hair.
Oh, no, it's Harry like in Harry Potter. There's also just straight up Draco Malfoy. This is not a Harry Potter name generator. But 4 of the 10. I also got a Chun Snape.
That name generator seems to be based entirely on Harry Potter character names.
I saw there was a box checked for witch or wizard flavored name.
Ah, okay.
Jimmy Reese, Saul Jacob, Grover Riggs, Harley Blackwell, Zach Stark.
I kind of like Jimmy Reese. It was probably
Reese
spelled with an E at the end, but we won't do that.
You selfish bastard.
All right, our character is called Jimmy Reese. He's a spy, and he's gonna be enveloped in a mystery. You are Jimmy Reese, a spy living in Chicago. Really, Chicago again?
Uh-oh. We saw what happened to Chicago.
You have a concealed pistol and a syringe of poison. You listen to the Russian diplomats and hear... This is exactly the situation that happened in our test run before the recording. We are listening to the Russian diplomats and hear them discussing their plans to take over Chicago was specifically the thing. This is their
with
plans
an army
for the
of over
future.
1 million men.
The Russian ambassador is proposing that they should attack with an army of over 1 million men. They will be coming from all directions, but most likely from Canada and the United States. Wow.
That's the
They're
best way to
already
attack
here.
Chicago. Yeah. They're going to be attacking Chicago from the United States.
I mean, it
army
sounds
is
like
coming from
we must
within
be
the country.
on our last legs here in this.
Yeah.
And this is a mystery.
I feel like
this is a mystery that we're in.
Would it really be espionage to go like, oh, by the way, there's already 1 million Russians here?
Surprise, we've already won.
Oh my God. And they've already made it to the Midwest. Could you ask the Russian ambassador kindly yet firmly to leave?
You ask the Russian ambassador kindly yet firmly.
Yet firmly.
Wait, not firmly. And also, wouldn't there be a comma there?
Nope.
Kindly
Strunk and White would disagree with you.
firmly to leave.
Those are excessive commas, but I'll let them stand because it is
Well, the
grammatically
yet
correct,
firmly
although stylistically
isn't
excessive.
That like a
It's not an independent clause. I was once taught
fine.
that using too many commas, it looks like sperm all over the page.
Who the fuck
that would be
said that?
Apparently, my dad once had a teacher that would criticize excessive comma use with that phrase.
Wow.
And it stuck in my mind because, if anything, it is memorable.
It sure is.
I have
Get your
frequently
comma
thought back
sperm
on
out
that
of
lesson.
my writing.
And it's like I frequently look over my writing to go like, are there too many commas? Am I putting sperm all over the page? And
Fucking weird. Let's play the game though.
Strunk and White didn't put it that way. You quickly stand up and walk out of the room. The diplomat looks at you as if he wants to say something, but instead he just turns his back on you and walks away. You sigh deeply before turning your attention to the other diplomats who were still talking about what was going to happen next. So
Listen
nothing
to
happened.
what will happen. No, listen to the Russians diplomats.
Yes.
All right.
Except you. Oh,
Too late.
you spelled diplomats.
Shit.
It picked up on it. That's fine.
Okay, good. Diplomats. You turn around and listen to the conversation between the Russians. A man named Ivan comes up to you and asks if you want anything. He hands you a small paper bag filled with cigarettes and says that it's not much, but he hopes that it'll help keep your mind off things. I guess we open the small paper bag and smoke a cigarette.
Just say cig, because then he'll think you're cool. You're a spy. You gotta, use everything at your disposal.
I wonder if the AI
Smoke
will
a
know
cig.
that cig is short for cigarette.
He'll probably run that against his database of words and find out that cig is cigarette. If not, we're up for some adventures.
If it doesn't know that cig is short for cigarette, I wonder what it will think we're smoking.
Yeah.
You take the cigarette
Is that
pack
slang
and
for
light
something?
it up. It burns your throat immediately, but did we light the whole bag of cigarettes and put it in our mouths?
Sounds like you lit the pack.
But you continue smoking until you feel like you're going to puke. You put the pack down and look at yourself in the mirror.
Okay, so
What
Bad
have I
Defaults does
done?
not endorse smoking cigarettes at all. But if you're going to smoke, try one at a time.
I just really love that after we were done, we just took a good look at ourselves and wondered how we got here.
Can you insert something like question your life choices? Because you're looking at yourself in the mirror. This is a
You
dramatic
question
scene.
your life choices. You stare into the eyes of the mirror and try to figure out how you got here. You've been working hard since you were 16 years old, but now you realize that this isn't really what you wanted to do.
You want it to be a Russian diplomat. What do you want to do?
You ask yourself what you really, not what you're really want to do. You sit down on the couch and close your eyes. You begin to think about everything that has happened today. Your parents died when you were young, so you never had any real family or friends. Your sister left home because she didn't want to live there anymore.
You should probably
by the
find
way,
closure
you
with
can
your
hit
sister.
enter without anything, and it'll just generate more story.
Oh, nice.
She moved in with her boyfriend. You wonder why she did that. Maybe she felt lonely. You remember the first time you met the Russian ambassador. He seemed nice enough, but then everyone does when meeting someone new.
I like how they brought that back.
Yeah, so apparently my whole life was my parents died, my sister left because our parents died, and then I immediately met the Russian ambassador. That's my whole life.
Can you ask the Russian ambassador what he thinks of you?
You ask the Russian ambassador if he likes me.
Ambassador. Ambassador.
Oh, ambassador, diplomat.
I like you, but I don't like you.
You stand up and head towards the door. You don't know why you're doing this, but you need to get out of here. Oh, okay. So I'm not asking him anything.
Like the AI's like, that's a stupid idea. I've got it from here.
You run through the hallway and see a large window overlooking the city. You could jump right outside and land safely somewhere in the middle of town.
Can you use a parachute?
How far can I jump? Am I in the middle of town already? And is this a safe distance for me to fall?
You're overlooking the city, so I doubt it's a safe distance to fall.
That's true. Parachute to the middle of the city. You decide to go for the safest option. You head towards the window and leap out of the plane. We were on the plane the whole time.
You were just in a hallway.
The hallway of the plane.
Okay.
It's a very big plane.
Fair enough, yeah.
As
I've
soon
never
as you hit the ground,
the
you start
fuselage
running.
referred to as a hallway.
You sprint along streets, jumping fences, and even rooftops.
So from the streets, you're jumping rooftops.
Yes.
Okay. Damn. Are you a human spy or a mutant of some sort? Like, what the hell is happening? I like that
Use
this
my
game has no
newfound
visuals.
Superpowers
Yeah, no kidding.
to repel the enemy invasion. Was this a story that had an invasion force?
Yes, of over 1 million people. The second line here, the Russian ambassador is proposing that they should attack us with an army of
the
over
Russian
1 million
ambassador is
men.
proposing that they should attack with an army of over 1 million men. Right. They will be coming from all directions, but most likely from Canada and the United States. That's right. Okay, so there is an enemy invasion force here.
No, he has merely proposed. He has only proposed 1 million men.
Right.
Communicate telepathically with Vladimir Putin. Maybe his family died as well, and like maybe you've got similar hardships, and you can, you know, do a heart to heart.
Oh shoot! The way I wrote that is you use my newfound superpowers.
Oh, yeah.
Because it puts you in front of everything.
You can sense all sorts of different emotions and thoughts.
You stop and watch the city from above. You can sense all sorts of emotions, all sorts of different emotions and thoughts. You notice a few people walking down the street, but they seem distant. They seem very distant. They aren't speaking to each other, which is odd considering their surroundings. Okay? So Vladimir Putin didn't enter into this at all.
Nope. Damn, I tried. The only thing I can think of is yell out of a window.
You make them talk to each other.
It's my money, and I need it now. Yours is better.
Or we could do what you said. You yell, it's my monkey.
It's my monkey, and I need it now.
I want it now.
J.G. Wentworth enters the chat.
You scream at the top of your lungs. The crowd looks at you in confusion. Some people laugh while others just shake their heads. The police officers walk over to you and attempt to calm you down, but they don't work too well since you start throwing punches at them.
I want to see that commercial. God damn.
Run from the police. You run away from the police. You quickly find an alleyway behind it and hide behind a dumpster. A couple of cops come by and one calls you a punk before taking off his belt and shoving it inside your mouth. Holy shit.
Gag, probably. I don't know. What would you do? Judo chop. Like it? God.
No, let's not.
You do whatever.
Let's not do that.
You're in control of the keyboard, man. You go for it.
Actually, fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's see what it does. Let's see how the AI reacts to that. You feel good.
You feel good.
You enjoy. You enjoy being a superhero. It feels great
what
to be able to.
Means to be a superhero. Oh God.
It feels great to be able to help people without having to worry about getting caught or losing your powers. You hear some noise coming from the direction where you hid and look around. I think we've moved on from the police scenario.
Okay, well, the AI once again was wise enough to move on. Can you, like, be Spider-Man and just, climb up a building really quick? Like,
we have superpowers. We established that.
But you haven't established the extent of your superpowers.
You climb up the nearest building. You grab onto the side of the building and climb up. As you reach the top, you realize you've made quite a bit of progress. You also notice several police officers standing nearby, watching you intently.
Keep climbing. They can't do anything.
You continue climbing. You finally reach the top and you begin to look around. There are several buildings on both sides of the street. You can easily scale these buildings and make your way back home. You pick a tall building near the front of the block and climb up its facade.
Ignite the bat signal.
Oh.
Yep. That's good.
Okay. You fly away from the area. You have no idea what happened to the rest of your team. My team? But you're sure they'll be fine. You're not going to risk it anymore. Yeah. You fly away into the sky and disappear. Ignore your problems. You ignore your problems. You're Superman after all. You don't need to deal with any of this right now. It even capitalized Superman. I am the Superman, like the actual comic book character.
You're Henry Cavill.
Yeah. You fly high.
You've got that chin dimple.
You fly higher and higher until you see the sun setting in the distance. So I guess my parents died because they died on Krypton.
Yeah, no kid, like, this is Smallville. Fly into the sun? If you destroy the sun, that takes away the Russians' motivation to invade Chicago because Earth itself will cease to
I guess the Russians
habitable.
Were invading Chicago because, as in Batman v Superman, Superman was deemed a possible threat to the planet, to humans.
That is true.
So that's why the Russians were invading, because
clearly
they were afraid of Superman's abilities. So I'm going to fly into the
So
sun.
if you fly into the sun, you'll do humanity a service.
You fly into the sun. You soar through the air as you burn up in a fiery blaze. Your skin burns off, leaving nothing but ashes and bones. But it isn't.
Notice how last time it took like 3 text prompts to be dead.
Yeah.
You just flew into the sun.
Yeah.
You are nothing but ashes and
Yes.
bones. But
But not
You're
game
alive.
over.
return to Earth as a skeleton. As a spooky skeleton.
Spooky skeleton.
Spooky skeleton.
You fall to the ground and slowly die. It's still not game
Easter.
over.
It's Easter, resurrect.
You rise
Come
from
rise
the
again.
dead.
Rise from the ashes. Rise from the ashes, because then you're a phoenix.
You awaken from your deathly sleep and stand up. You walk over to the dumpster where you were hiding and look at yourself in the reflection of a dirty window pane. There's a lot of self-reflection in this story. You stare at yourself for a while before realizing that you're still wearing your costume. My Superman costume.
It's got to be a little baggy by
a,
now.
a symbol of what I was before humanity turned on me.
Can you reflect?
Just because I'm an alien with god powers doesn't mean that I'm a monster.
well, kind
God.
of though. Kinda.
Also, my parents died. Ugh.
What will you do? Become emo. It's not a phase.
Oh, God. Everyone hates me. Ugh.
Become emo.
You decide to become an emo hero. You hide out in your basement. You start sleeping late at night and staying out later than usual. Eventually, you get arrested by the cops because you're too depressed to do anything productive and sent to a mental institution. Jesus.
Oh, man.
All I did was stay out late. God. What kind of authoritarian regime is this?
Breakout. Meet Jack Nicholson. I'm bringing up too many movie references, I feel like. But
I don't know if it... I don't think it knows celebrities. Real names don't seem to... Real people names don't seem to be a thing that this AI knows.
like Gandalf the Beige.
Should I meet Jack Nicholson?
Yup.
Okay. You wake up one day and find that you've been transformed into a ghost.
That has nothing to do with Jack
The
Nicholson.
only thing keeping you alive is the fact that your costume keeps you warm. You wander around aimlessly looking for something to occupy your time.
Is any of this real? Can you wonder, like, what will you do? Wonder if anything is real.
Wonder if anything is real. Survey says, you think about all the things you could do if you had more free time. You think about how much fun you'd have doing some sort of comedy act or singing show. You think about how great it would be to go on tour and perform for the people. Go to New York.
Go on tour and perform for people.
I'm gonna head to Broadway. You decide to go to New York
Yeah.
City. It's a city full of excitement and life. You can make a lot of money there and live comfortably. You begin your journey towards Manhattan.
Get a studio apartment for $2,000 a month.
You decide to move into a studio apartment in Manhattan. You figure you'll just live here and work at a job that pays well enough so you don't have to worry about paying rent anymore. You spend several months moving furniture, cleaning up, and getting ready for your new life. Audition for a Broadway.
Cats.
Audition for Cats
Cats. Yes.
on Broadway. You decide to try out for Cats on Broadway. You get a part in the musical based on the book by Joan Didion called The White Album. That
Never
sounds
heard of
wrong.
it. It's not Cats.
It's also not Cats.
I know that.
Yeah, I auditioned for Cats and got a part in a different play.
Hey, fair enough. You're paying rent, you know? It's that New York City life.
Isn't The White Album a Beatles album? Mm-hmm. Okay. You are excited about this new opportunity. You feel like you've finally found your calling and purpose in life.
The White Album is a 1979 book of essays by Joan Didion. Like her previous book, Slouching Towards Bethlehem, The White Album is a collection of works previously published in magazines such as Life and Esquire.
Wow, it's a real book.
222 pages real.
Was there a musical based on it?
Don't believe so. a musical based on a collection of essays.
Oh, that would be a thing. Yeah, that would be very difficult.
I am seeing
Although-
nothing on Wikipedia about a musical based on the White Album by
I mean,
Joan
it
Didion.
wouldn't be impossible because Cats itself is a disjointed musical based on like there's no story there. It's just
Kind of a clusterfuck.
Each song is just a separate song about cats in different situations.
Practice relentlessly for your new opportunity. Practice 8 hours. Hire a vocal coach.
You hire a vocal coach who teaches you how to sing better and gain popularity with women. This gives you more money, which allows you to buy more expensive clothes and nicer furniture. You also learn how to talk in a way that will attract girls without being creepy. What the fuck?
Back up like 8 prompts.
I can do that. There is a revert button.
No, tell it to do that. What happens? Invent a time machine.
Invent a time machine.
Because I'm getting uncomfortable with how like red pill this is becoming.
You realize that you need to change your plans. You decide to go back in time and save yourself from becoming a ghost. You travel back in time and convince yourself that you're going to become a famous musician instead of a ghost.
We were already on that path, but okay.
Well, but we're a Superman ghost famous musician musical in not
Superman.
Cats.
Also,
In a musical about a series of essays.
and we've still got the whole Chicago Russia situation going on, but we've moved on from that. That's not authentic to our experience.
They were only there because they wanted to prevent, they wanted to help save humanity against Superman.
So now that you have surrendered your Superman
Now that we're a ghost,
career,
we're not much of a threat.
although maybe we could milk that. Being a ghost unlocks a vast array of potential as a
We
spy.
already went back in time and convinced ourselves to not be a ghost.
Yeah, true. Could you type in you unbecome?
I could revert that.
No. Reconsider. Maybe being a ghost is actually the life plan that you need.
Reconsider being a ghost. You realize that you don't want to be a ghost any longer.
Oh.
You decide that you should stay as a human and pursue your dreams. You return to the future where you tell yourself that you're not going to become a celebrity and instead become a successful musician.
Oh, that's a sad reflection on the state of professional musicianship right now.
So we're no longer a ghost, and we've convinced ourselves that we're going to be a successful musician instead of being a Broadway musical celebrity.
You know what becoming a successful musician requires? Sue Napster.
All right.
Just saying, it worked for Lars Ulrich. Kind of.
You decide to sue Napster because they were stealing your music and using it without permission. You then start making your own music under the name Ghostface Killa.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Napster eventually shuts down due to legal action from other companies. That's true. They did do that.
So, reunite the Wu-Tang Clan.
All right. You decide to reunite the Wu-Tang Clan. You believe that it is time for them to come together again after all these years apart.
While you're at it, find Martin Shkreli and take that album back.
You decide to take back the Wu-Tang Clan album from Martin Shkreli. You go to his mansion and steal it back. Martin Shkreli is arrested when he tries to flee
Which
the
is
country,
funny
but you manage to
currently in
escape
prison.
justice thanks to your own criminal record.
We've seen this is your 4th offense, so you know what? You've spent so much time in the criminal system already. Like, you're free to go. It's not really escaping justice because that is the right thing to do.
The right thing to do is to
right
take back the
thing to
album
do.
from Martin Shkreli. Yes, of course.
Yes. So now that you have the album, release. What is the name of the album? Once Upon a Time in Shaolin. So release that to the public.
And become the hero that the people deserve.
You should have typed that in.
You release Once Upon a Time in Shaolin to the public. It becomes very popular and you make millions of dollars off of it. I guess we're part of Wu-Tang Clan now, so.
Well, you're Ghostface Killer.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That makes sense.
You also sell your house and move into an even bigger one in Hawaii. Your life is now perfect. Well, shit.
Should we go back to Chicago or call it?
How about win? You win.
Yeah.
You win. You are the greatest rapper alive. The world is yours.
Can we do better than that? The world is yours.
You do better than that.
Do better. No, just type in do better.
The next day you wake up and find out that you won the lottery jackpot. Yes. Your newfound wealth makes everything much easier.
Just type in solve the Russia-Chicago conflict.
Oh, right. Because we got to tie up all the loose ends in this narrative.
Exactly.
You decide to solve the Russia and Chicago conflict by sending a Russian gang called the Zodiacs to kill all the Chinese mobsters in Chicago. You send them there with instructions on how to get rid of them. They succeed and everyone is happy. That doesn't sound like everything is solved.
You still need closure with your sister. Just type in find closure with your sister.
Right. Find closure with distant sister. You call her up and tell her that you love her. She says she loves you too and hangs up on you. You cry a little bit, but then decide to just forget about it. I guess that's closure.
Perfect.
That's all the narrative pieces to that's all the narrative threads to this story, right? I mean, I don't know that Russia and Chicago is solved, but the AI seems to think it is.
There were no Chinese monsters.
I don't know. I don't know.
How did that play into it?
Relax.
Is that an ending?
And live happily ever after.
You're assassinated by the Chinese mobsters.
You relax and live happily ever after. You spend all your money on drugs and women. What the fuck? You become addicted to both of those things, which leads to more problems later on in life.
Oh, no.
Eventually, you die of a drug overdose at the age of 34. You died. Game over. All right.
No. It was going so well until you relaxed and lived happily ever after.
If only I didn't live happily ever after, then everything would have been fine.